Right, guys, we got another quick clip here from the BBC. Some might have heard yesterday Alex Belfield talking about the BBC News at 6, going full steam ahead with their propaganda used to scare people into compliance. It obviously did not work with me, but there are sheeple out there that will fall for it, as we know. Now, the BBC, in its infinite wisdom, decided, you know what, we will pump out that same video clip again, this time just after 8 AM on the BBC Breakfast Show. Obviously, it goes without saying, this is not what people pay for, and certainly not what they want to see at 8 AM on a Wednesday morning. Of course, it goes without saying, this is not what people pay for, and let me tell you, it's certainly not what they want to see at 8 AM on a Wednesday morning. They do not want some tosspot reporter walking around a London morgue pushing propaganda as they eat their cornflakes, and as for the nurse who, like Matt Hancock, cried on TV, maybe someone should give her an Oscar. But I will say at least they wasn't doing a little TikTok dance during the mortuary segment, I guess. Because I really wouldn't put it past the BBC or some of the sanctimonious tosspots employed by the NHS to do a little dance in the morgue for the BBC cameras. And let's be honest, the BBC are that out of touch with reality, they would probably think it's a good idea to do a morale-boosting TikTok dance for the cameras if one of the brain-dead zombies working for them had thought of it at the time. Thankfully though, they obviously didn't, otherwise we would have to be dealing with that cringe fest, though it would likely have made a better headline title than this one. Now, as you would expect, coming from the BBC, there are so many holes in what was said during the segment that it's just laughable, but obviously it's not there to be factually correct, it's just there to pump out the fear. But what really annoys me is doctors are complaining about dealing with dead bodies despite that being their job that they signed up to do, and you will hear she states hundreds, not thousands or tens of thousands as some might think. Which is rather funny because, like I said, this is a London hospital, so take from that what you will. Smells like shit if you ask me, but take a look at this BBC shit show for yourself. That way you can let me know in the comments section what you think.
So the UK reached a really new sombre record yesterday with the highest number of COVID deaths in a 24-hour period since the pandemic began last year.
The Faculty of Intensive Care Medicine say that many hospitals are now overwhelmed, with some staff, they say, almost on their knees after many months of treating desperately ill patients.
Well, Clive Murray has spent 10 days filming at the Royal London Hospital, speaking to staff, patients and family members about how they're coping with the pandemic. Let's look at a part of that special report, and just to warn you as well that some of you may find the images in this report distressing.
The birth of a new day brings a familiar demon. More COVID infections and more death. And it's others who must stare into the abyss to spare our eyes.
I'm sorry.
Like Hannah, a senior mortician at the Royal London Hospital, part of a small team of just 5 that's handled hundreds of bodies in this pandemic.
How do you ever prepare for people just dying and dying and dying, you know? Although it's our job and we deal with dead people every day, this level, I think, is taking its toll.
Does it feel like a conveyor belt?
It does in a way, yeah. And I hate to say that because I hate to think of it like that, but yeah, it is almost, yeah.
That's what the pandemic's done. I mean,
yeah.
It's no one's fault.
No. Sorry. I've done this for years, you know. I'm just, when someone says to you, how does it make you feel when you're saying how it makes you feel? Well, yeah, this is how it makes me feel.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.